They lied to you. They told you to be kind, be soft, be agreeable, and somehow life would reward you. But look around. Look at what obedience brought you. Rejection, invisibility, disrespect. You've been underestimated so long, you've started to believe it. But you're not weak, you're just untrained. There's a savage under your skin, something ancient, something patient. Your blood remembers war, famine, betrayal, but you've been raised by cowards wearing smiles. You were born into a system that rewards submission and punishes presence. They clipped your claws the moment you showed teeth. You were taught to apologize before you ever attacked. But I'll tell you this, no one's coming to crown you, no one's handing you power. If you want to be the greatest your bloodline has ever seen, then understand this, power isn't given, it's taken. Every man you admire became untouchable by walking through fire most people cry in. And the ones who survive don't come out clean, they come out cold. This world does not respect good men, it respects dangerous men who've mastered restraint. The beast must rise, but it must rise with aim, with control, with venom behind the eyes. You don't need healing, you need awakening. And once you wake up, you burn every version of yourself that kept you small. The people who doubted you, remember their faces, study their words, and then make sure they choke on the taste of their underestimation. So the next time someone asks who you are, don't explain, just show them, and watch them flinch. Because you're not here to be liked, you're here to leave a scar. The bloodline is watching. Imagine every man in your family who came before you, dead or alive, is watching you now. The broken ones, the silent ones, the angry ones who never figured it out. The ones who numbed themselves with alcohol, distraction, or quiet surrender. They didn't teach you how to lead because no one taught them how to survive, but they are still watching because you are the one with power, and they know it. Your bloodline didn't get therapy or podcasts. They got war, debt, silence, and shame. They worked themselves to death while holding rage in their jaws like rusted blades. And now you sit with that same rage in your bones and don't know why you're suffocating. That darkness in you, that's not weakness, that's inheritance waiting to be weaponized. And if you don't use it, you'll pass it down again. You think you're overwhelmed? They were too. But they didn't talk about it. They just got mean, or quiet, or both. They buried it, then buried themselves, and you were born carrying their ghosts. You're not just a man. You are a convergence of pain, hunger, failure, and unspoken dreams. The only question is, do you end the story or rewrite it in fire? You are either the break in the cycle or the link that extends it. There is no neutral ground in legacy. Either you are the man your great-grandchildren will quote, or the man your own children will try not to become. The world doesn't care about your potential, it only remembers your results. And if you keep waiting for permission, your entire bloodline will rot behind your hesitation. This is your chance to immortalize the name they gave you, not by being nice, not by being liked, but by being unignorable. Forge your body, sharpen your mind, study every wound they left you like a map, then go to war. Comment, "Bloodline Breaker," if this lit something in your chest. And if you're done being a man who hopes, be the one who ends excuses forever. Your ancestors are watching, make them proud, or make them weep. You were never meant to be loved. You were meant to be respected. They lied when they told you to chase love. They made you believe being liked was the highest prize a man could earn, that if you were sweet enough, soft enough, patient enough, people would finally see your worth. But every time you bit your tongue, every time you bent your spine to be accepted, you carved away your own crown. You don't need love. You need respect. And they are not the same. A man who is loved but not respected will be used, ignored, and forgotten. They'll smile in your face while they walk all over your boundaries. They'll take your kindness as weakness and your patience as proof you won't fight back. The world doesn't reward self-sacrifice, it exploits it. And if you're the kind of man who gives and gives without command, they will bleed you dry, then blame you for being empty. But respect, Respect changes everything. Respect makes men pause before speaking your name. It makes women feel you without touching you. It makes enemies hesitate and allies align. Respect is earned through strength, clarity, and control. Not begging, not pleading, not hoping they'll see you differently if you just open up. You don't need to be seen. You need to be feared correctly. You build respect by becoming the man who doesn't flinch. The man who walks in the room and says nothing, but still owns the air. The man who doesn't argue with fools, doesn't whine for attention, doesn't explain himself to the blind. You think that being loved will fix the pain you carry. It won't. Only power does that, and power comes from a man who knows he owes the world nothing except dominance. So stop chasing love like it's your salvation. Love is soft. Love is fleeting. Respect is forever. Comment, bloodline breaker, if you feel that click in your bones. That moment you realized you've been playing the wrong game. You weren't built to be liked. You were built to be remembered. The man who walks alone and still makes kings nervous. Be him. Now, build yourself into a weapon. Your body is not a comfort zone. It's not a display piece. It's not a couch to lay trauma on while you scroll and distract yourself into decay. It is your first weapon. And right now, it's soft, slow, and sleeping. Every push-up you avoid is a negotiation with weakness. Every lazy meal is proof you fear discipline more than failure. You want power? Then earn it with pain, repetition, and silence. You don't need more motivation. You need a code. A reason to get out of bed at 5 a.m. when no one claps. A reason to run when your legs scream to quit. Your mind will try to sell you comfort as a solution, every single day. You kill that voice by building rituals so sharp they don't need your permission. You train like it's war, because for you, it is. This world is not built for soft men. It breaks them, bends them, buries them under louder, leaner, hungrier men. And you know it. You've seen it. No one respects the man who's always figuring it out. They respect the one who walks like a loaded gun, calm, silent, and always ready. Strength doesn't speak. It doesn't beg. It shows up, uninvited, and dominates. Your body isn't just about aesthetics. It's about proof. Proof you can suffer daily and choose it. Proof that your pain threshold is higher than theirs. Proof that if the lights went out tomorrow, you'd survive while others panic. Turn your body into a threat. Turn your name into a warning. Be the one who moves like war, even when wearing peace. This isn't about six-packs or selfies. This is about building a presence so undeniable they feel it before you speak. It's about forging something so solid that nothing, not rejection, not failure, not heartbreak, can shake you. If you're done negotiating with the version of you that hides, build discipline until it becomes your armor. Build yourself until the mirror fears you. This is your body. Make it a weapon. Control is the highest form of power. The man who reacts, loses. The one who explodes, complains, or seeks revenge with his mouth first. He's already played his hand, because every reaction is a reveal, and men who reveal too much are easy to predict, easy to manipulate, easy to destroy. You want real power. Then understand this. Control is everything. Control your face, your tone, your pace, because when you control yourself, you control the room. They'll try to get under your skin. Your girl, your boss, your enemies, even your friends. The world tests men by poking the nerve, watching for the twitch. But if you can stay silent while the chaos spins, you win. If you can walk away when your ego screams to fight, you rise. Control makes you dangerous. Not loud, not emotional, controlled. When you speak, speak like a sword, not a leak. Every word you say should feel like it costs something to earn. Loose men talk, strong men watch. Your emotions? Study them like an opponent. Learn the way you flinch, overthink, lash out, then reprogram. Because the more you control your impulses, the more unpredictable you become. And unpredictability terrifies people. Stoicism isn't softness, it's strategy. It's choosing not to hand your enemies your playbook. You want revenge. Out-succeed them. You want respect. Say less, do more, walk into rooms like you already own the place, because your silence radiates intent. A man with nothing to prove is the most dangerous man alive. And he's calm, never comfortable, but calm. If you've ever lost control and paid the price for it, if you've let your emotions drive only to crash into regret, that ends now. Your mind is your kingdom. Guard it with discipline. Your reactions are your armor. Polish them with restraint. Your presence is your sword. Sharpen it with silence. Stop flinching. Stop explaining. Start commanding. Your pain is a blueprint. Use it. Everything that ever broke you is a blueprint. The betrayal, the humiliation, the loneliness, none of it was random. It was design. Life hands men two things, suffering and silence. And if you don't build with one, you'll drown in the other. You want to know why you're stuck? Because you're still trying to forget what was meant to forge you. You've been lied to about pain. They told you it was something to fix, to run from, to medicate until it fades. But pain is not your enemy. It's your compass. It shows you where the wound is and what kind of weapon you're meant to become. Every scar is a message written in blood. Every failure is feedback from fate itself, but only the ruthless will decode it. Most men try to heal by hiding, but warriors heal by building. You build muscle where weakness used to live. You build routine where chaos used to own you. You build self-respect out of the ashes of rejection. Don't numb it, name it, don't escape it, extract it. There is power in dissecting your wounds, turning them into blueprints, and then building yourself into the man no one thought you'd survive becoming. You think your story disqualifies you, but it's the reason you're chosen. The trauma, the bullying, the abandonment, all of it was preparation. Because the man who had to fight through the fire becomes the man no one can burn again. Use it. Use the pain to sharpen your mission. Let it remind you of what happens when you trust softness over strength, illusion over instinct, comfort over clarity. If you're done treating pain like poison, it's your blueprint now. Read it, study it, build from it. Don't wait for healing, hunt transformation. You were never meant to stay broken. You were meant to become unbreakable. And the only way to do that is to stop burying the past and start building with it. The pain wasn't a punishment, it was a plan. Kill the nice guy, bury him deep. The nice guy is a lie, a costume, a weak strategy disguised as virtue. You weren't born to be nice, you were trained to be, programmed to prioritize others while abandoning yourself. You were taught that if you just smiled, stayed calm, gave more than you got, people would return the favor, but they didn't. They took, then they left. And you were too polite to even get angry. You were told not to be dangerous, not to speak too loud, not to disagree, so you bit your tongue, folded your spine, and flinched your way through life while they used your silence as permission. You weren't rewarded for being good. You were ignored. Being nice didn't protect you. It weakened you, made you small, made you forget you were ever capable of war. Here's the truth. Being nice is just fear in a flattering disguise. It's fear of conflict, fear of rejection, fear of being called selfish or toxic. So you over-apologize, overshare, overgive, and underlive. But no more. That version of you, the smiling doormat who says yes when he wants to say hell no, needs to die. Today. And he dies in silence, not ceremony. Being kind is different. Kindness is a choice made by a capable man. A man who can be cruel but chooses not to. A man who knows when to show mercy and when to show teeth. That man is respected. That man is magnetic. That man can make people feel safe or terrified. And that man is the one you must become if you ever want to command your space. Comment bloodline breaker if you've had enough of being the nice one. If you're done trying to earn worth through obedience, you don't need to be everyone's favorite. You need to become impossible to ignore. Kill the nice guy, bury him without a word, and walk out of the graveyard with sharper eyes, slower speech, and presence. Nice doesn't change the world, power does. Become polarizing, never average. If everyone likes you, you're doing something wrong. You're hiding, you're shrinking, you're shape-shifting into whatever they need you to be so they don't get uncomfortable. That's not power, that's performance. That's how average men live, chasing approval like it's currency, terrified of rejection like it's death. But real power? It's polarizing. It divides the room, and it doesn't ask for permission. You need to be the man who makes weak people squirm, who walks in truth so sharp it exposes their lies without speaking. When you're authentic, you offend. When you're bold, they call you arrogant. When you stand your ground, they say you're too much. Good. That means you're finally becoming real. Stop aiming for harmony. Start aiming for impact. Let the hate come. Let the fake ones fall off. Average is the most dangerous place a man can be. Not hated, not admired, just forgotten. You're not here to blend in. You're here to burn a silhouette into the memory of every room you enter. And if that means people label you, fear you, envy you, so be it. Being misunderstood is the tax for being uncommon. Being polarizing is the proof that you've chosen a side. Yours. Don't let them guilt you into being palatable. Don't water down your instincts because someone else can't handle realness. Your opinions should shake the table. Your posture should end conversations. Your presence should force people to recalibrate their lies. Polarizing men don't fake humility. They wear conviction. And in a world addicted to appeasement, conviction is violent. It shocks the system, and it works. If you're done being digestible, if you're done begging to be liked while slowly dying inside, you weren't made to be everyone's comfort. You were made to be someone's awakening and everyone else's alarm clock. Be loud in silence. Be clear in your no. Be unshakable when the crowd boos. Because when history remembers names, it doesn't remember the polite ones. It remembers the disruptors. Dark psychology is a tool. Wield it. You can either learn how the game is played, or keep losing while pretending you're above it. Manipulation, influence, perception. These aren't evil, they're tools, and the ones who win don't flinch when it's time to use them. You were told to be honest, open, transparent, but that's not what the world respects. The world bends to those who understand power, not those who wait to be treated fairly. If you're always outplayed, maybe it's time you studied the rules of control. Dark psychology isn't wicked, it's neutral. It's fire. Fire can cook your food or burn your home down. The difference is who's holding it. Understanding how people think, how they feel, how they react, that's not manipulation, it's strategy. You don't need to lie, you need to lead. You don't need to deceive, you need to direct perception. In a world full of noise, the one who frames the story wins the audience. Truth doesn't move people, emotion does. You think facts win arguments? They don't. Stories do. Framing does. Repetition does. The people who rise aren't always the best. They're the ones who create the most believable version of themselves. You could be a lion, but if you present like a lamb, you'll get slaughtered with the rest of the herd. Power isn't just about force. It's about optics. Control the room by controlling what you reveal. Speak with weight. Leave gaps. Make them guess. The man who says less has more gravity. The one who can sit in silence without fidgeting owns the tension in the room. Learn to withhold, to signal without speaking, to influence without asking. That's not darkness, that's dominance. And if you want to be untouchable, you better master both the light and the shadows. Comment, Bloodline breaker, if you're done being the honest man who keeps getting played by liars. Stop pretending this world is fair. It's not, but it is programmable. Learn the patterns, study the players, take the mask off, and put the crown on. Because in the end, it's not the best man who wins. It's the one who knows how to move the board. Silence is your shield. Mystery is power. You talk too much. That's the problem. You explain too much, reveal too much, defend yourself when no one's even listening. Every time you speak just to fill space, you leak value. Men of real power don't advertise themselves. They withhold. They make people wonder, assume, guess, because mystery creates pressure. and pressure creates presence. Silence isn't awkward. Silence is a weapon. The more they know about you, the easier you are to control. Predictable men are easy to provoke. But the man who says nothing, the man who nods without agreeing, listens without reacting, that man is dangerous. They don't know where to place him, how to read him, or what he's thinking, and that uncertainty makes them cautious. You don't need to yell. You need to become unreadable. Mystery isn't about being cold. It's about being strategic. If you tell people everything, they stop paying attention. But when you speak less, they lean in. They study you. They talk about you when you're not around. You control their attention by not feeding their curiosity. When you master silence, you don't lose control. You take it. Because the loudest man in the room isn't the leader. He's the one trying to prove he belongs. Speak with precision. Make every word feel like a decision, not a reaction. Don't tell them your plans. Show them your outcomes. Don't announce your goals. Move in the dark and let success slap them in the face. Stop venting. Stop explaining. Let your absence speak. Let your lack of neediness speak. Mystery makes people respect you before they even know you. That's power. Comment, bloodline breaker, if you're done oversharing, over-explaining, and over-exposing your value. Say less. Hold more. Don't let people download you so easily. Become an encrypted presence. Speak like you already know how they'll respond. And when they try to read you, let them drown in your silence. Because when you master quiet, you master the room. Build an empire or be ruled by one. Every man leaves something behind. Some leave regret, some leave debt, some leave children with no compass, no code, no name worth carrying. But a few, they leave empires, structures, systems, a name that echoes past the grave. You were not born just to survive. You were born to build. And if you don't, someone else will, and you'll be working under their roof. There are two kinds of men in this world, empire builders and empire employees. You either own the system or you serve it. There's no honor in being used quietly. You've spent enough years trading your time for scraps, waiting for your big break. Power doesn't knock. Power is seized. And the only men who seize it are the ones who have nothing left to fear or nothing left to lose. If your name died with you today, what would it mean? Would it shake anyone? Inspire anyone? Would your future bloodline thank you? Or curse your memory for wasting the chance they'll never get again? You think you're waiting on a perfect moment, but there is none. There is only today. Only blood, strategy, and relentless execution. You're either becoming a symbol, or you're fading into static. The empire isn't just money, it's control, it's sovereignty, it's never needing permission again. It's designing your schedule, owning your thoughts, protecting your family with force and precision. But that kind of freedom doesn't come to the average. It comes to the obsessed, the calculated, the one who decides he'll burn comfort to the ground just to build something that outlives him. Legacy doesn't come cheap. It costs everything. Most men just want a break, a vacation, a little peace. But you were built for dominion. You're here to put your name on something that cannot be erased. That requires obsession, ruthlessness, long nights and cold decisions. But the reward? Immortality. Not in a fairy tale sense, but in the real, brutal, undeniable sense. You become the name your descendants whisper like law. Comment, bloodline breaker, if you're not just chasing success, you're building something unerasable, something your enemies will fear, something your bloodline will protect, something that screams, I was here, I mattered, I ruled. And if that costs comfort, let it. Because you weren't built for peace, you were built for legacy carved in stone. If this hit you, like, subscribe and turn on notifications, because we are not here to be liked. We are here to be feared. We are not here to be remembered by the weak. We are here to be obeyed by the future.